After the treatment with SO2, the next step is fermentation. Now the grape must is ready for fermentation by desirable variety of yeast. In this case also the selection of yeast is also very important. Concentration of sugar is very important. Concentration of sugar in must, acidity of must, and the supply of oxygen. And one of the most critical factors in this wine making process during fermentation stage is the temperature which is to be maintained during fermentation process. In general, the yeast which is used belongs to the Saccharomyces genera. It is Saccharomyces ellipsoideus. It is a yeast used for the fermentation of must, but depending on the manufacturer's choice, he can select a different variety of yeast also. The first step in this is preparation of starter, that is preparation of seed culture or preparation of inoculum. So this seed culture, it is inoculated into the grape juice, that is must. It is prepared from a pure culture of selected yeast. So the stock culture of selected yeast, it is inoculated into the liquid medium containing pasteurized must. Now here the must is pasteurized because the purpose is not production of wine. The purpose is production of yeast biomass, and therefore pasteurized must is used. So it is inoculated with the stock culture, and then it will be incubated for 24 to 48 hours under aerobic condition, under constant shaking conditions. So because here the purpose is propagation of yeast cells, and yeast are aerobic microorganisms, so there should be supply of continuous oxygen. Then this starter culture is inoculated into ready to be inoculated into the fermentation broth. On rare occasions there may be addition of ammonium sulfate or phosphates. So it is dependent on the variety of grapes which are used. So sometimes the grape juice may not have sufficient concentration of nitrogen and phosphate, which is essential for the growth of yeast. So in those cases there may be external addition of ammonium sulfate or ammonium phosphates, which will serve as a source of nitrogen. Optimum concentration of sugar is approximately 22 Barling degrees. And if this is the concentration of sugar present in must, the final concentration of alcohol in the finished fermented juice will be approximately 13 gram percent. 13 gram percent. So accordingly the manufacturer can decide if high alcoholic content wine is desirable, then high concentration of sugar should be added. But the point of consideration is that the yeast variety should be able to tolerate high concentration of sugar. The yeast variety should be able to tolerate high concentration of alcohol, ethanol. So in the beginning, the high supply of oxygen, it is essential, as we have stated. It is required for the rapid multiplication of yeast cells during the starting of fermentation. So first, this grape juice, it contains some amount of dissolved oxygen. After the inoculation of starter culture, for first few hours there will be no production of alcohol because there will be respiration aerobically. There will be aerobic respiration, that means yeast cells will utilize dissolved oxygen and they will adapt aerobic respiratory process during which yeast cells will multiply by budding. Once the or as the oxygen in the grape juice it starts depleting, the yeast cells will stop multiplying by budding, and this leads to formation of complete yeast cells. Then these yeast cells will divert its metabolism towards energy production by fermentation, and in doing so they will produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. So ethanol and carbon dioxide production, it will continue thereon rather than the growth of yeast cells due to the production of anaerobic conditions. So generation of CO2, it will also help for creating anaerobic conditions. This is a very critical factor, that is temperature of incubation. The finest wines are produced usually at temperatures below 29 degrees Celsius, but this temperature is also not desirable. So as much as possible the temperature of fermentation should be less. The finest wines are produced the at lowest temperatures as low as 15 degrees Celsius. So such type of conditions, environmental conditions are there in Europe or in other continents that favors the use of low temperatures. But in India, we have high temperature, and therefore the temperature of fermentation should not go beyond 29 degrees Celsius. The reason behind that is high temperature will favor the growth of undesirable bacteria and yeast, and if it is too low then there will be no fermentation because yeast cells will not metabolize properly. As a result of use of high temperature, the development of bouquet and aroma, these are basically the essential components of finished wine, properties of finished wine. So this bouquet and aroma, it should be maintained, and it is maintained when wines are prepared at low temperatures. If it is high temperature, then these volatile compounds will be lost from the wine and the quality of wine will decrease. So temperature is very essential components. We can see that this is a snapshot of fermentation industry, wine making industry, where we can see, we can note the cleanliness of in the fermentation industry. These are the large fermenters which are present parallelly, which are operating at various stages. All these are our automatic fermenters which are filled with the grape juice and inoculated with starter culture, and the fermentation is going on. We can see this is the discharge pipe. After the fermentation is over, this is opened and the fermented green wine or the young wine is separated for further processing. This is the window through which uh, the operations can be monitored. These are the manometers which monitors or shows the pressure conditions, and likewise these are different piping networks for the sampling purposes, for the addition purposes, etc., etc. And these are jacketed fermenters. That means Through these jacket, these pipes are attached to these jackets, which are connected to cooling water. So proper maintenance of fermentation temperature is essential, and for that these jacketed fermenters are equipped with this flow of cooling water. This is how the fermented grape juice looks like. We can see that it is being transported into the fermenter. This is we can see this is the property of that grape juice. You can see it has pomace. Pomace means the insoluble material. So along with water, so this pomace, it is the skin of grapes and the cellulosic material, pectin material, insoluble material, which is there. And we can see the white color of white color foam is being generated due to growth of yeast. Then after the 3 to 5 days of active fermentation in those fermenters, sufficient tannin and maximum color have been extracted from the skin of grapes. If more dark color is desirable, then additional skin of grapes, it can be added to the fermenter. This extraction, it is facilitated by the agitation of pomace. Pomace means it is a collection of skin, seeds, pieces of stems during the fermentation by ethanol produced from sugar, grape sugar, the heat of fermentation, and the mechanical breaking up of skin. The winemaker can decide when the color and the tannin content are satisfactory and then draws off wine to separate it from pomace. He does not wait for all the sugar being fermented. At the time of drawing of wine, the boiling degree, that means the sugar concentration, may reach 2 or it decrease to 4-degree boiling. That means initially it was 22 boiling degree and now it is 4 boiling degree. That means sufficient amount of sugar is consumed, and then the fermentation can be stopped, or this fermentation broth is ready for harvesting. Sixth step is the further fermentation. Now initial fermentation is ethanol fermentation or alcohol fermentation. Then there is a one more step other than alcohol fermentation, that is called as malolactic fermentation. Now what are the events? The free run wine, it is placed in a closed storage tank. That means this wine which is present in earlier tank, it was equipped with pomace, so that pomace or insoluble material is separated, and the liquid material, which is called as free run wine, it is placed into storage tanks which are equipped with bunks that allow the excess CO2 to escape. So CO2 is allowed to escape, and that escaped CO2 is collected in a closed vessel which will be further used for sparging process. An atmosphere of CO2 over the wines tends to inhibit the development of these aerobic bacteria. These are acetic acid bacteria, which causes the conversion of ethanol to acetic acid. So such type of bacterial growth is inhibited due to anaerobic conditions. So the fermentable sugar is usually consumed within 5 days. The next 7 to 11 days temperature, at a temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, the further fermentation is carried out. So initially 6 days are alcoholic fermentation, and further from there onwards 7 to 11 days, that means 4 to 5 days next, there will be the further fermentation, and that further fermentation is called as malolactic fermentation. We can call it as secondary fermentation. So primary fermentation is by yeast, that is ethanol fermentation, and secondary fermentation is by other bacteria which are already present in the other tanks in which the broth is transferred. It is malolactic fermentation. Now you see, let us understand the principle of this malolactic fermentation. As the name indicates, malolactic, this means that malic acid is converted to lactic acid by bacteria. Malic acid and tartaric acid are mainly present in wine and in high concentration, as well as there is presence of citric acid. So the grapes from dry and hot climate like from India, they have high concentration of tartaric acid. The grapes from cool and moist climate, they are rich in malic acid. So these are the problems, and if these acids are present in grape juice, then the taste of wine, it becomes very harsh and stringent. So there has to be decreased concentration of malic acid and tartaric acid. So the solution is that these acids can be metabolized by lactic acid bacteria. So malic acid can be converted to lactic acid by lactic acid bacteria, and this is how the concentration of malic acid will be decreased. Tartaric acid is also metabolized by few bacteria to lactic acid. This means that malic acid and tartaric acids are converted to lactic acid by lactic acid bacteria, and this decreases the concentration of malic acid and tartaric acid, and this decreases the harshness or the stringent taste of finished wine. So this is mediated by the bacteria such as Streptobacterium, Lactobacillus, Lactococcus, Leuconostoc, etc. etc. So further fermentation involves inoculation by these bacteria into the broth so that it will follow malolactic fermentation that leads to decrease in the concentration of malic acid and tartaric acid, that leads to the conversion of these two acids to lactic acid. But one point should be also noted, that high concentration of lactic acid is also not good for the quality of wine. So malic acid is converted to lactic acid by lactic acid bacteria. So this decreases the harshness, which is called as tartness of wine. Malic acid may be converted to oxalic acid, that is oxaloacetic acid, by malate dehydrogenase enzyme. Then this oxaloacetic acid is converted to pyruvic acid. This is a biochemical reaction by oxaloacetate decarboxylase. Then further it is converted to lactic acid by lactate dehydrogenase enzyme. This is the one metabolic process. The another metabolic process may be malic acid may be converted to pyruvic acid, followed by its conversion to lactic acid. There are few bacteria which directly convert malic acid to lactic acid by malolactic enzymes. These are the different ways of metabolism by which malic acid is converted to lactic acid. Then after the fermentation, secondary fermentation is over, the broth is ready for racking. Racking means clarification. Racking means drawing of wine from the lees or sediment. So whatever the insoluble material that settles during this 7 to 11 days of period. So that sediment is separated, it is clarified. The sediment mainly contains this chemical, that is potassium bitartrate, which is also called as cream of tartar. So it is found in the lees. This substance is less soluble in alcohol than in water and precipitates out more rapidly at low temperature. So this tartar, it contains the precipitated tartaric acid also. That means the salt of potassium salt of tartaric acid. So this is also responsible for the decreasing of harshness of wine, because here also the tartaric acid is being separated. Next step is storage and aging. So after clarification, the clear wine is ready for storage and aging. This is one of the important steps in the making of finest wines. More appropriate is this process, more is the period of aging, more desirable will be the taste and aroma of finished wine, and more will be its cost. So clearing of wine and development of flavor, it takes place during this step. So new wine, it contains substances which are responsible for formation of sediment and cloudiness or turbidity in wine. These substances are tartarates, proteins and other matter. Now such substances has to be separated, which are responsible for formation of cloudiness. To speed up the removal of these substances, there is a process which is operated at low temperature called as flash pasteurization. Flash means within a short period, and this is particularly for the separation or the precipitation of proteins. Cooling of wines at -4 to -3 degrees Celsius and holding at this temperature for few days, that is the process of flash pasteurization. During this period, the protein tannin complexes will form, and this protein will get precipitated and it will get settled. This wine is then filtered at low temperature for the separation of this insoluble cloudy precipitate material. The wine is then will go into the tanks for aging process. Now this aging process has a profound effect on the taste and finished quality of wine. So wine storage tanks are constructed from a special type of wood, that is oak wood or redwood. So these are uh, generally white oak being better of these two. Special type of wood is essential for the aging, because during this aging process the essential aroma compounds are extracted from wood and they will enter into wine, and which are responsible for giving a characteristic pleasant taste aroma to the finished wine. During this aging also the higher alcohols, methanol, is absorbed in by the wood, and that increases the quality of wine. So the tanks are completely filled with wine and sealed to prevent the excess of large quantities of wine, because large quantities of oxygen, because if oxygen is absorbed, then that wine becomes susceptible for the contamination by acetic acid bacteria. So if acetic acid bacteria are growing in those tanks, it will lead to production of another product, that is called as vinegar, because the definition of vinegar is spoiled or sour wine. We don't want sour wine. Therefore, the entry of acetic acid bacteria, contamination by acid bacteria has to be prevented, and that can be prevented by avoiding the entry of oxygen. These are the barrels. We can see that these barrels have this cap, which is, so these barrels are completely filled with wine, and then they are packed with this type of lid, which is very difficult to open. So this avoids the leakage of wine, or it avoids the penetration of oxygen in these barrels. So these barrels are very having a very high cost. uh, Most of the Indian winemakers, they import chips, लाकडाचे छोटे छोटे तुकडे. They import chips, and these chips are the wine is stored in stainless steel tank, and then these chips of this wood are added, and then it is aged. That is how in India it is done. This is the storage house for wine. We can see the oak wood or redwood tanks, barrels, which are filled, and they are racked for the aging process for several months or several years. Now the development of flavor. Flavor, it is a combination of taste and odor, and this flavor develops due to some oxidative changes and due to formation of esters. So aging proceeds slowly until oxygen becomes available in small quantities. This is very important. If it is in high quantity, then there will be production of acetic acid. If it is in low quantity, then there will be desirable changes like formation of ester. So these alcohols, aldehydes, tannins, these are the substances which are present in wine and which can be oxidized. So alcohols are converted to aldehyde and subsequently to acids by oxidation. Aldehydes then form acetals from alcohol with alcohol. Combination of alcohols with acids gives rise to esters, which are important in the production of aroma or bouquet, a pleasant bouquet of finished wine. The time required for aging, it varies from the variety of wine and the conditions. A dry wine usually require at least 2 years of aging, and some finest wines are produced at aging of 5 years or more. So as the aging period increases, the cost of wine it also increases, because the taste, because of the improvement in the taste of finished wine. Clarification is the additional step. So wines, they may be clarified during definite period of time, and then fining can be done. So fining, it involves filtration, heating, refrigeration, or the combination. It is not the heating of wine, it is the heating of the equipments which are to be used for the storage of wine. Some manufacturers may use this method of fining, that is addition of certain additives which are called as fining agents. These fining agents are responsible for giving a characteristic taste to wine. These may be casein, gelatin, they are added into the finished wine. Tannin, bentonite, which is a type of soil. Isinglass, which is a type of fish material, fish protein. White of eggs, that is albumin. Spanish clay, that gives a characteristic taste to finished wine. So these are mixed with wine carefully according to the direction, preferably after the laboratory test. The improper use of these fining agents itself may leads to cloudiness in wine and spoilage of wine. Then further steps are packaging. The clarified wine, it is packed in oak barrels, and if it is ready for marketing, it is then packed in pasteurized bottles with which are pasteurized at temperature of 140 degree Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. So these are the different shapes of the bottles in which the wines are sent into the market for consumption. Different types of colors we can note, different sizes of the bottles we can note. This is the flow sheet of making of wine. Now the flow sheet for making of white wine and red wine will remain same, the procedure remains same, only the difference will be the variety of grapes. So the protocol will remain same for white wine and red wine. So the flow chart is like this: selection of grapes, grapes are washed, then crushing of grapes, then sterilization of this grape juice, that is must by using addition of KMS, that is called as the SO2 treatment. Then it is aerated. The purpose of aeration is to uh, replace this SO2, because if this SO2 is there in grape juice, then it will inhibit the desirable Saccharomyces ellipsoides also. So for that purpose it is aerated. Then it will be transported to the fermentation vessel. There will be fermentation of must, inoculation following the by the inoculation of yeast. So there will be growth of yeast cells in the initial period. Followed by that there will be production of ethanol and production of CO2. This will continue for 3 to 5 days. After that, the clarified fermented wine, it will go to secondary fermenter for secondary fermentation, which is called as malolactic fermentation, that will continue from 7 to 11 days, followed by this incubation period. Then racking, that is clarification for the separation of insoluble materials like cream of tartar, sediment, lees and yeast. Then storage and aging in redwood or oak wood barrels. Before that, there may be flash pasteurization. This is the period during which there will be development of flavor, and the aging period is in general 2 to 5 years. It may be more in case of specialized type of wines. And then this wine is bottled and ready to be transported in the market for consumption.